I know that intro says Darby, the credit gal. That's a dang lie. It's just Chris Mendenhall sitting in for the credit gal, Darbe Nokes. And I'm with Dave Baberaki of Pacific Shores Real Estate, Inc. And in our last segment, we kind of segued into mortgages, and I didn't realize that you have your own mortgage company, and mortgages make the real estate market happen. If you don't, unless you're paying cash, you're going to have to, qualify for a mortgage. So, and I know you've been in the business, coming up on 30 years, but with your experience having your own mortgage company, give us a couple of examples in today's market. I know back in the day, anybody, if you had if you could fog the mirror, you could get a loan, but you've helped a couple people, or I know a lot of people, get a mortgage that might not otherwise have qualified for with your help, your expertise in the mortgage. So can you share a couple of stories about that?
Well, no, there's a lot of things, and that's why it's really important to sit down with us and the mortgage professional and say, hey, where are you? Where do you stand? We had a client that had a 575 credit score, which
Wow.
is nobody's going to be able to give them a loan. But we looked at their thing, and she had only been in the country like 3 years. Her husband had been in the country. He was born here for 40 years, and his credit was really good. But hers, we needed her income to help them qualify. But if we used her income, we had to use her credit, and that was really poor. But we recognized that if she just paid off 3 credit cards, we could do a rapid rescore, and we got her up to a point within a matter of 3 weeks where then that was okay for the lender. At 575, nobody was going to give her a loan. But at a certain level, we were then able to get her a loan.
Just by paying off the credit cards?
By paying down the credit cards to a certain level.
30%? I think Darby always talks about if you owe no more than 30% of the credit limit, then it doesn't affect your credit score.
Yeah, we paid a couple, and it's funny because a couple of them were like, one was a $500 credit card, one was a $300. So it's not like they had to pay a fortune to get their credit. They had to pay them, but those $500 and $300s being maxed out really affected her credit score.
Really?
So we paid those off, and one we paid down. So they had to pay $1,500 on that they still have the credit available to them.
So it's house, no house, but by making that small investment, fixing that circumstance, then her credit score was raised in a matter of a few weeks.
Yeah, we do what's called a rapid rescore in a case like that, but I think it makes it a little less stressful if we address those things ahead of time, and that's why it's important to sit down and with one of our professionals and go through things and make sure that we know what to do. It's always having a game plan. There's somebody else that I had that had self-employed but he wrote $50,000 off. He made about $80,000 a year, wrote about $50,000 off in business expenses, so his net income was about $30,000. He doesn't qualify for much. But we talked to this gentleman and said, can you just I could take less deductions next year. He takes less deductions next year, so we had to wait till right after he filed his taxes, and just don't take those deductions, and then you may have to pay a little bit more in taxes, but now you're going to be able to qualify for a house.
So basically, in today's market, because we don't have the easy qualifier, no documentation of income, no documentation of assets, whatever you pay taxes on is the amount of money that you're going to be using to qualify for a loan. So the government's kind of stepped in and said, you pay taxes on this money, then we'll allow you to borrow money.
Yeah, that's basically the truth. So there are very few stated income products out there. There are a few stated income products available, but they are with real large amounts down, and so they're restrictive on the interest rate. So the basic facts is that people have to qualify on the income that they pay taxes on.
Wow.
And that hasn't always been the case before the pre-mortgage bubble in 2007 and 2008. That wasn't the case, but it is the case right now. But there are incredible opportunities out there if you take advantage of those. And we have some programs that are available that we actually incentivize it when we package the services, that we will actually make their first month's house payment for them. And
really?
Yeah, that's our buyer's assistance program, and it's an incredible. We've had people here in the Santa Clarita Valley that have used it, and everybody loves it. And you can reach us on our toll-free number at 888-308-6979. We can give you more information about that. But it's an incredible way for the the buyers, if you're thinking about buying, to save a tremendous amount of money using our services.
And so that's because you offer all.
That's correct. We can package the services together, and people, and it's real money. It's not like, oh, well, you would have saved this or this. No, it's real money.
Wow. And so that if they want more information, all they have to do is call that 888 number, 308-6979. So you help the one guy figure out his tax situation, and then you were able to fix in a matter of a few weeks someone's credit score by paying down the credit balances to 30% or less, which facilitated the purchase of the home. Is there any other circumstances where in your mortgage experience where you've been?
Well, there's a lot. I'm just talking about a couple recently. Everybody has circumstances. They have to do this. They have to do that. We have a client now that had to refi a property in order to pull money out of that. So, it was a rental property in order to make another purchase. Sometimes every transaction is different, and knowing what to do and how to cater it makes it incredibly important.
So you're saying you have to have a plan to purchase a home?
Yeah, unfortunately. I wish it was simpler than that, but it's not. You have to really look at all the documentations and make sure that the person can do what we want to do, because the hardest thing is we don't want to set somebody up for a disappointment. So we want to make sure all our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed before we actually write a purchase contract.
Well, great, Dave. Thank you for that. We're going to come back. We have a couple other questions for you, Dave. You'll just hang in there. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.